somewhere in the bowels of the city that never sleeps,
Kevin McCullough, radio host with Salem Media,
is a man also not sleeping.
Syndicated radio talk show host Kevin McCullough.
And that guy would like a word with you.
Many of you know him as Vostradamus.
Of course that Kevin show is going to be great. The only thing that could be greater, of course, would be that Donald show. But we don't have that, so we have that Kevin show.
Featuring the music of Dick Tunney and the Dream in Color Orchestra. And tonight on That Kevin Show, we will speak with one of the good guys, or gals, in Congress, Nicole Malliotakis. Dr. Jeanette Nishawat wants to BC your boost. Deborah Terry will be at the Dry Bar Comedy Stage. Siamak Kurami with a scandal of California-sized proportions. And Ellie Holcomb revisits the Spotlight. And now, from Times Square, where even as he's twice been impeached and indicted, former President Trump still making Rachel Maddow sweat, here's that Kevin! All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am not in a happy mood tonight. I am not. I normally want to start the show for you, with you, in a convivial, genial state, and I'm not in a congenial state tonight. I am in a very pissed off state tonight. And I don't like to say that lightly. I don't say that lightly. But what you have had unleashed on you, the American people, in the last 2 days is a pathetic joke at minimum, and at worst, it is a harsh Marxist attempted takeover of our nation. And we're gonna have to get down to the brass tacks on this tonight, because it is not something that we can or should countenance with any degree of grace. There are forces in our nation tonight that are wanting to take the will of the people out of the hands of the people. Now, I'm sure that you've been made aware over the last couple of days that the president will face an indictment on Tuesday. They tried to do the same thing in this case that they did in the Alvin Bragg case and keep it unsealed. They tried to keep it private and secret because they didn't want the nation to know what was in it before it got to court on Tuesday. Then on late Friday afternoon, someone said, well, maybe we should unseal it and let this stand. Now, what you're going to hear a lot from the prosecution in the next few days is the seriousness and the gravity of the callousness that the president countenanced these documents with. That he showed them to people who did not have the right to know them. That he was in some way even possibly loose enough with them that he could have emboldened our enemies to undermine and to hurt the men and women of our military and the people that serve our national security interest. Now, I might remind you that the people making these claims have worked for the lifelong wishes of Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, in their efforts to try to take over the national foray on national security. And while they throw around this idea that President Trump on 2 occasions said something about information that implicated that Mark Milley, who's generally regarded in the ranks of the military right now as a joke. But let's just cut to the core. I know many people in our nation's military who believe that General Mark Milley is an abject joke of a leader for our armed forces. And it was Mr. Milley that kept lying about former President Trump, saying he was trying to drag us into war with Iran. And the reason that the president referred to this particular item in that discussion that is supposedly documented in this case and will come out is because it was in fact Mark Milley, General Milley, who was trying to create the possibility for an invasion of Iran, not President Trump. So does President Trump have a desire to maybe hang on to and declassify documents that might in fact tell a different story than what the leaders are telling? That's probably true. Now, here's the other very interesting twist on all of this, that if his abuse of these two documents that he referred to when he was in these meetings created 37 accounts of felony violations, then how many violations did James Comey overlook when he cleared Hillary Rodham Clinton of some 33,000 emails, of which 2,000 or more were classified and were sitting on a server in a shower somewhere in Colorado? Do you remember that even when she was asked about it, it said something about, did you wipe the hard drives? And she made a joke. You mean like with a cloth? The fact that this group of people is so up in arms about the great abuse that this former president supposedly displayed in hanging on to documents that were from his administration, and that the court has not decided if he had declassified them or not, and said that and has not said that he even had to give them back, though he was in the process of giving everything that the National Archives back as they wished. Is there any doubt that the 1,800 boxes of documents that were found in the Bidens, including the ones next to his Corvette in his garage and the ones in his offices in Delaware and Pennsylvania and everywhere else, is there any doubt that there were not abuses of the classified status of those documents in the places where those ended up? 18,000 boxes would seem to say that there might be, but not one word about that. 33,000 emails, some 2,000 of them classified as highly secretive or very private or classified, highly classified, all kinds of different rankings that the Hillary Clinton documents had. And no, there's no outrage about that from the Democrats. Friends, don't be deceived here. There is one reason why they are seizing on this opportunity to try to put Donald Trump in jail. And it has nothing to do with the idea that he actually put this country in any kind of peril. That did not happen. And every Republican candidate that's in the race right now, you have a really important opportunity within the next couple of days. On Tuesday, this indictment will be even further unsealed and discussed in the court of law in Miami. And the right thing for you to do as a fellow Republican who wishes to lead this country out of this corrupt abyss that is using everything that you can imagine of our national security infrastructure to sell us out. Yes, the Biden administration is actively selling us out from the White House. On the same day that the indictment is announced, it's also revealed that Joe Biden took a $5 million bribe from a Burisma executive to keep things hush-hush about something that was going on there. Does the media have 1 ounce of interest in what that might be? Would that possibly be of any interest given the fact that we have given Ukraine billions upon billions of dollars, tax dollars that you and I have worked for? It seems to me that you can point to the long history of Donald Trump, his very tough stance against our enemies, his very warm stance with our friends and allies, ensuring that their futures were secure. It seems to me that you could develop a pattern of behavior with Donald Trump, and it also appears to me that you can develop a pattern of behavior with the Biden crime family. 10,000 new photos of Hunter Biden hitting the internet this week, of which he's mostly surrounded with naked people, some of which are relatives. Other emails on that same hard drive detailing deals in which his dad, the big guy, getting 10% of millions and millions of dollars worth of deals. Friends, this is not a joke. It is not a laughing matter. Our republic, our elections, our freedoms from a tyrannical government comprised of one party trying to squelch anything that disagrees with it is under attack, is underway. That attack is underway. The question that every independent and Republican have to ask themselves right now is, how much of this garbage are you going to continue to put up with? And every presidential candidate that has an R after their name better be on those courthouse steps on Tuesday. If you can't stand and defend America against corruption, which all of this is, then you don't have the right to be president. Kevin McCullough, coming right back from New York.